Scene is set tonight. Stefan has caught himself a cab, and he's currently heading to a hardware store that's luckily open till about 11. So it's a comprehensive one. It's a Home Depot. His aim is to pick up some mechanical and analog components to be able to have what he needs to possibly be able to make Damian Black a prosthetic arm to replace what was taken from him so long ago. He's never actually tried this, but he's confident that with his skills as a sculptor, his knowledge of anatomy, science, he should be able to make this a reality. In hopes that Damian Black will be able to, how can we say, get a new lease on life, regain a little something, regain maybe some confidence, maybe some drive, some passion. Not that that's necessarily a good idea, but it's better than having a possibly apathetic Brujah running around the city. He picks up his phone as he's in the cab, scrolls on through. He's trying to remember. Ah, yes. And dials Damian's number.
Damian will pick up. Oh, fucking. Yeah, what's up?
Not too much. How are you doing this evening, Damian?
Alright, I guess. I'm not doing too bad for a guy who... Yeah, let's just say I'm going alright.
Well, you do remember that offer I made you? The prosthetic arm that I could work on for you?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I have a little bit of time before work tonight, and I am heading to a hardware store to pick up some supplies for that project. But in order to do this, I'm going to need to take some measurements to be able to make sure that I'm having the dimensions correct. Is it going to be possible to meet you wherever you are at this moment? Preferably somewhere in private. No distractions.
I'm at the PU for the moment. We could meet somewhere more secluded.
Have you ever been to the Last Resort?
I've heard about the place, never been there.
It's in the industrial district. From the southeast corner, go up and in 3 blocks, and it's on Tyler Way.
Tyler Way, alright, man. Be there in about 15-20.
Just wait for me. I will be on my way following the hardware store.
Right, alright.
I will see you.
Damon will hang up. Damon will get in his car and stare at the sea for a few seconds and then drive to to the bar. Let's see how. Which drive?
Are you doing particularly complicated?
No, just trying to get there, not too
Given
not too.
given the nature of
Just that it's a place he doesn't know.
because your car's a stick, so
It's actually I saw that with Chris and said power glide, so he doesn't necessarily need
power
like
glide?
second arm to do it. It's like yeah, I saw what it is, and it's like pretty much the thing is behind the wheel, or just so he can just move the wheel and move the. That's what Chris. Well, Chris had told me it was something they called power glide, and that's what I looked up, and yeah, pretty much.
Basically, it's a auto shifter that you can put on the back of your steering wheel.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, which drive? Dex drive is for stunt driving.
1, 2, 3. I managed to get there pretty quick for a place he hasn't been.
True. When the few moments later, the cab pulls up at the hardware store. Stefan looks at the driver. If you would please wait for me, I will need. I will require your services to get to work after this. Cab driver looks back. Sure, no problem, buddy. Stefan gets out of the car, phone still in hand, and Axel did want to chat. It's the night after the church, but things didn't work out. He looks for the number, pulls it up, and gives Axel a ring as he heads into the hardware store.
Axel feels the vibration in his pocket. At first, he slaps his phone. Get off me! Realizes it's his phone. He takes his pocket, yanks it out. Yeah. Hello?
Ah, Axel. Is
right?
It is.
Oh, good. I thought you were somebody else.
So how? I assume the night is going at least passable.
Oh, we're getting by. It's just some things on my mind. That's all. Just some things on my mind.
Well, I do still owe you that chat. The one that we didn't get to have after leaving the church a few nights ago.
Wait, now?
Sure. No time like the present.
And like the present, it's not Christmas. Sorry, Stephen. Mine's wandering again. Just
I am currently at the Home Depot in the downtown district, but I'm going to be heading to work shortly after this. I need some supplies.
Okay.
I trust you remember where the last resort is? Industrial District, Tyler Street? Or Tyler Way?
I'll try and find it. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm yeah, I think I know.
Is walking into the place going to be a problem?
I'll manage. Find some way to make it right. And yeah, if you want to talk, a time like the present. Okay. Just if I start swatting at things in front of me, just keep an eye on me, okay?
Fair enough. I will. The what?
They want my eyes. They can't have them.
We will discuss this later on. I will see you later on tonight. Last resort, Tyler Way, Industrial.
Last resort. Got it. Axel seems to put down the phone, but he doesn't seem to have noticed that he hasn't turned it off as he starts screaming something about a merger.
Stefan hangs up the phone, folds it, places it back into his right breast pocket inside of his coat, his jacket, and as he begins, as he begins looking around various aisles in the Home Depot, he begins to think, taking a mental tally of what he's going to need. Let's see. Gears. A form of analog wire. And yes, sturdy wood. Possibly some tools. He I have him make a intelligence craft. As he's trying to get that mental note together to do his shopping. Wow. Yeah, he begins heading to the lumber section with a cart, and he decides, might as well go for something relatively inexpensive but sturdy. He decides to select some decent lengths of pine, and after he gathers a few 6-inch pieces, he makes his way down the aisles, finds a can of weather sealant, wood weather sealant, kind of thing you spray on decks. And then he makes his way to an aisle where more mechanical parts can be found. It's not easy to find something like this in a store like this. And it takes him quite a while to do so. But eventually he manages to find some small gears, some analog wire, and some parts he can use for small joints. The whole shopping trip takes him about 45 minutes, a little bit longer than he was hoping to spend on it. But eventually he finds everything that he's going to need, heads up to a checkout stand, and proceeds to pay for the items that he picked up. Sets him back a little bit more than he was hoping tonight, but thinks to himself, this will be $150 well spent. When everything's said and done, he actually remembers one more thing that he's going to need. He tells the checker to hold really quick, grabs a small package of bungee cords, and pays for those. Last item. On his way out, he quickly unpackages the bungee cords, wraps them around everything to kind of make a neat little package that he can hold in one hand. Heads back out to the cab, gets in, and carefully maneuvering the items into the car. The last resort, please. Cab driver pulls out. Sure, buddy. And it takes another 15 minutes for him to get to work. Eventually, the cab does arrive, and if Damian is sitting in his car, he sees a yellow cab pull up. It pulls up right past his car and parks along the side of the street.
Does the bar have a terrace, or is it just an inside bar thing?
It's an inside bar only.
Okay.
Single story. When you walk in, to the immediate right, there's a small raised dais that has, like a dais platform that has 4 booths. Past that, in the far back, there's about 6-8 tables, and there's 6 seats at the actual bar. It's not the longest bar ever, but it works. There's a jukebox just past the access point, the access gate to go behind the bar. Just past that, there's a jukebox sitting out, and past that, straight back from the door, the only game in the bar are 2 dartboards.
Alright. Damon will probably be inside the bar though, at the at a window, so that he sees when people turn up, and he would have requested some rock music at the jukebox.
When you request the music, the bartender just calls out over to you. Hey, if you want to hear some music, buddy, just pop some into the jukebox, man.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He goes he puts money in the jukebox.
But that's Dave for you.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll put some rock music in the he'll put it painted. He'll put painted black on the jukebox anyway, and he'll order a beer. Just
Did you say fade to
Your
black?
cup doesn't have. Huh?
Did you say fade to black?
Painted black.
Okay. Not ready to say. Are you trying to suggest a funeral dirge for Damien?
And he'll order a beer, and can't actually drink it, but he's seen people sip it and how they do sometimes. And he'll do that. He's tried it once, and he'll do that. And he'll look at the beer, going, yeah, at least there's no fucking hair in that thing.
Stephen gets out of the cab, pays the driver, and begins grabbing the package, his items from the hardware store, and proceeds inside the bar. As soon as he enters, you hear the oh so boisterous banter of Dave. Hey, Stephen! Finally you're here! I thought you were going to be late tonight again. Just made it, though. 5 minutes until my shift officially ends. Stephen just gives Dave a look. Just like that. He heads behind the bar, placing the items he has in the leaning it against the back bar and the wall, the front wall and the back bar, and the opposite the access gate, and gets started on his shift for the night. There's not too many people in tonight. It looks like it probably died down within the last 30 minutes, so, you know, there's like 5-6 usuals plus Dave. And he begins, you know, serving a few simple drinks, beer here, beer there, the rum and coke to another patron. Brings up all the orders. Gets lucky. Well, does he? Does he? Let's see. Nope.
Oh.
Not a bunch of good tippers tonight. And just kind of scans around the bar. Eventually sees Damian. Ah, Mr. Black.
Yes. Mr. Damian Black, as many of people in our extended family have come to call me.
Ah, step up to the bar. I will take care of you just like I always do to my usual patrons.
He'll come with the beer. He'll sit at the bar.
Well, I believe the most appropriate place to do this kind of looks around the bar, scanning, just to kind of, you know, make sure that all of his patrons are well taken care of. And yeah, they are. They're chatting. They're enjoying their drinks. And the bouncer is, you know, keeping an eye on things. Stephen kind of nods to the bouncer a little bit. Can you keep an eye on the floor for me? This won't take too long. The bouncer nods back to Stephen and acknowledges. Come back here. Stephen picks up the package that he has.
Damian will follow the... did you say come back here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Damian will follow the instructions and go behind the bar.
Stephen makes his way to the storeroom in the back. And there's a small table back there for, you know, basically it usually has paperwork, stationery, where everything is needed for taking inventory, things like that, plus some cleaning supplies. He undoes the bungee cords wrapped around, and you see a few good lengths of pine, larger than Damian's arm, that he still has, about 6 inches long each. Measuring tape, a small saw, a small folding saw, and some various other mechanical parts that he leaves in the bag. But the implement that he takes out is a small tape measure, not a metal tape measure, but like one that you would use for surveying, a small surveying tape measure.
Damian will look at him, guys. Listen, mate. How long do you think it could take you to make an arm? Because, like, Lacey told me she'd look for something on the internet, and no offense, I'd rather just owe a family member than someone else.
And did I make any mention of payment? Well, did I make any mention of the usual type of payments that we tend to deal in? No. It might cost a couple $100, but that would be about it.
Well, if that all costs, I guess we're good.
But I will give you the final monetary amount, but I guarantee that it will be custom, it will be nice, and it will be functional. and it will cost a lot less than anything that you can find.
So it's not gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
Well, you've already paid an arm. I may have to take the leg.
Damon will just awkwardly smile at the joke.
If you can stand straight and extend your... you lost your left arm or right arm?
Right arm.
Right arm. If you can extend your left arm, please, and stand straight.
Damon will extend his left arm, and he's always has always he's standing straight, so he has, and he'll extend his left arm.
Wits medicine roll as he takes the tape measure out and begins measuring chest width, making mental notes. You hear him kind of whisper to himself. He takes measurements of your left arm, and you hear something, give or take a quarter of an inch. And he measures around bicep, the forearm, the wrist, and the elbow, and around the palm back of the hand, and then starts taking note of finger size. He pulls out he goes to the table, pulls out a piece of paper and grabs a pen and starts making notations. Like as he's making these measurements, he writes them down. Actually, he gets very accurate measurements and dimensions. That's what that roll was for. And after a while of jotting it down, you basically give me an intelligence roll to see if you understand the notations he's making, because it's not straightforward English.
Intelligence. Anything else, or just
intelligence?
Yep, two successes.
You see some shorthand. Because you never studied medicine, you don't really know what the shorthand means. But you see right arm measurement, plus minus measurement, or plus minus approximation, so on and so forth all the way down. There's some notations, though, that honestly confuse you. But that's only because, you didn't study any kind of medicine or anatomy or anything. It takes about 15, 20 minutes for that. And he rolls the tape measure back up, places it into the bag, and rebundles the wood with the two bungee cords really tightly, making one good solid package. It's about 3-4 pieces of wood, and he places everything back into the bag that he had, rolls it up, and leaves it on the table for the moment, placing the tape measure back into the bag itself. I'm going to give you an estimate of 1 to 2 weeks. I will let you know when the actual prosthetic is completed. He also makes measurements of the stump of your right arm. Because it's just above the elbow?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he took out 3/4 of the arm, I think. So it's,
So
just above
the elbow. Once the arm is completed, I'm going to need to make sure that the fit is correct. It will be removable if you wish. You should have at least half manual dexterity in the hand and fingers, It won't be great, but it will allow you to resume some of your previous activities you enjoyed.
All I want to know is, will I be able to handle a guitar again?
With at least half manual dexterity, if everything works out correctly, you should be able to, but it will take some. It will take practice to get used to, and I would recommend physical therapy to help you get used to using the actual arm.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Once the whole thing is completed, I will give you the monetary price for time and materials. Generally speaking, prosthetic arms can run $1,000 or more. This, I estimate, probably no more than about $500 to $600.
Right.
It's going to be made of pine, and I'm going to water treat it. I believe you said you were a surfer, correct?
Yeah, man. I'm one of those crazy fuckers you heard on the news that are still surfing even though there were storms out.
This the water protectants that I'm going to be placing on the arm, and I will see if I still have some Teflon coating for the metal. I should be able to outfit it to where you can surf. I would recommend not exposing any of the metal components directly to salt water.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that is basically what I needed to be able to get measurements, to be able to make sure that it is that I have what I need to actually, put it together. Feel free to hang out if you wish.
I might stay. Just out of curiosity and concern, how is your family going? The ones I know, at least.
Is going quite well. Axel had a little bit of a issue a few nights ago, but I'm almost positive that Lacey knows about that. Asmod was involved.
Damien will smile. He'll just smile as he kind of knows what he's talking about that Stephen doesn't know that he knows, and he'll just smile. So I guess oh yes. Has he been running into trouble? Is he alright?
Mutt?
Yeah, well, both Mutt and I've had Mutt on the phone. He seems to be alright. He seemed a bit on the nerve though. But how's your brother going?
Axel is well, he's Axel. Things go up and down from night to night, but this is expected. All things considered, it could be a lot worse.
Amy will just smile. Well, I guess that's something good I can look to. And he'll go back up and continue taking small sips and feeling like just dipping his lips on the beer.
Just out of curiosity, did you just state you left the room, like the back room where he was doing all the measurements? Did you just state that?
Yeah, we did. While we were chatting, we walked back to the front of the bar.
Well, you see your coworker dealing with a man who seems to be a little more aloof. He's just asking for, or he just has a glass of water in front. There's some loose change in A couple of bills on the table, but nothing exorbitant. Seems to be just a tip while he's sitting there waiting. He looks around and then tries to keep to himself. Then just looks up, back down at his drink.
Oh, Axel! I apologize, I was not here to greet you.
You see Axel's eyes kind of dart to Damian, then just go back to you for a second. Back to Damian, then to you. Yeah, Stephen, I've been sorry for the inconvenience. I just trying to keep it on the level.
Not an inconvenience. I was just starting the preliminary work on Damian's replacement arm. I'm going to be making him a prosthetic. I believe pine is quite well suited.
And how's Damian doing?
I'm fine, man. Are you?
Shut up. Sorry, Stephen. Sorry. So, I didn't catch that. How's Damian doing?
Quite well, as you can see. Damian, if we will talk later. If that is not a problem.
Oh shit! I am so sorry. I was thinking something else. My. What is... Okay. Talk somewhere else. Right. Sounds like an idea.
Stefan leans over to Damian and, a low tone, he says, I believe it would be advantageous if you went elsewhere. We will talk later, though. Do keep in touch.
Damien will say, sure, man, just if you run into any trouble, just give a yell. For someone with one arm, I can still hold my own, let's just say.
And tell Lacey not to worry about the financial burden of a prosthetic. Tell her it is being taken care of as a favor from one friend to another.
I'll just nod, and he'll take his he'll just go somewhere out in the bar, just somewhere where they probably can't see him, so that Axel, it might calm down. He's just concerned that if shit happens.
Don't get confused out of character. Out of character, the reason he told you to shut up is he didn't know you were real until Stefan acknowledged you.
Yeah, I know that. Oh well, I know that. I'm not sure.
Okay, just to be clear.
But so Damien will just go somewhere in the bar that's a bit secluded where they can't see him.
Stefan takes another look around. Doesn't want to leave a patron. The patrons in the bar are still, they're just talking amongst themselves. They're not coming up to him for drinks, but he kind of makes a few rounds around asking the various patrons if there's anything they need. A couple patrons order a few more beers. He brings them to the table, they pay him, and tell him to keep the change. He rings up all of the orders, places the remainder into his tip jar, and turns to Axel. Axel,
yeah.
Step on back to the office. We will have a chat.
Sorry, I got late. I got a little lost. It was just trying to make things right. Walk, last resort. Last. Yeah. I'm just trying to get things going again. He walks inside, and it's not really a walk so much as you just kind of shuffling his feet. And he doesn't even ask for permission to sit down and just immediately does so.
Stephen enters the office shortly after Axel closes the door, locks behind him, and takes a seat where the a manager or owner would take a seat. Makes himself comfortable. So there was a topic that was on your mind after the meeting at the church.
It was there? Oh yeah. Look, Stephen, the Brujah are a little bit more messy these nights, especially ever since running into mud. I understand that, I try and keep people safe, but I ran into. Do you remember what I was talking about last night? Ran into a cartel, as near as we can figure. And things got really fucking out of hand. Still crawling around. But the problem is I don't know much about how evidence happens. You said you had a bit of paranoia about it because of kind of looks around. This place is good to talk, right?
It is fine, Axel.
Okay. The problem is that I got stuck a few times. Switchblade, spinal column, fluid. And it got overrun by the police before we got cleaning up the mess fully. Now, I have it on good authority that the Brujah said they're going to clean it up. Fine.
How long ago did this happen? And you said the police were en route before you were able to get away from the scene?
No, cops didn't see us. It was... Oh, god damn it. It was a lot of blood and intestines. I could smell them on me. And we got what was needed. But there was bodies. There were people who managed to run. But that's one person's word against another. I'm not taking stock in that. Zach said it himself, right? There's no evidence. But is there evidence when we get stuck, when we get shot? What are we leaving behind? How do we stop that? Especially when we're in a rush. What are we supposed to do? Stick around till the cops show up? Are we supposed to play dead?
Well, normally you are aware that we don't bleed when we are shot or stabbed.
Yeah, but does something come off on the knife? Like if I were to... Axel's like pushing the thought ahead of actually stabbing Stephen right now.
I see your point. Yes, there would be some VTMYTE on the blade.
And
some blood.
is that even our blood? That little bit? Or is it somebody else's? I don't know these things.
Think of it this way. Then we drink, and Stefan talks low, even though it's secure. He talks low because there is a little bit of an echo in the office. It's an office.
Yeah.
When we drink, it becomes as much a part of us as it does for a mortal receiving a blood transfusion. Our bodies change the substance, change the blood, so that it is only identifiable to us, as though it was ours all along.
Fuck. Look, Stefan, I don't mind putting in the work, but I need to know. Well, you got 30 seconds to get out of a building before more witnesses show up. How do you cover your tracks? How is it that... Look, I can't be the only fucking worker here, right?
How much blood? How much blood and whose blood?
I got stuck in the back a few times, kidney shot, switchblade. Almost got hacked in two by a fucking machete. In fact, I'm surprised he still talk. It was kind of right.
Oof.
Yeah, it got pretty fucking bad. I had to make a choice. Do I let Mutt turn to ash? In which case, that's a real big fucking problem when that's laying in the middle of a crime scene. Or do I end up chasing after the other guy? And I made the choice that I could fix the other guy because it's just his word, right? Maybe people think he's crazy. There's a chance of that, if it goes unresolved. I don't want to leave it unresolved, but at least there's a chance of that covering up. But there's no covering up when Mutt's being hacked to bits and then the cops show.
Stefan looks up at the ceiling, trying to remind himself. Oh, that's right. This office does not have sprinklers in it. He says, you see him pull out a pack of Marlboros and a lighter, and he says, "Here, take fun to calm your nerves."
Stefan, can you light it, please? I don't trust myself with the lighter right now.
He takes a cigarette out and the lighter, and you see Stefan hold it as he would normally, like it doesn't bother him, and he lights the cigarette and then hands it butt first to Axel.
Thanks.
Placing the two back into a pocket. Is there any chance that the mortal blood commingled with yours?
Might be.
Because I'm not an expert on forensics, but when multiple blood types mix, you said this was in a warehouse?
Yeah.
It was dirty. There was lots of things on the floor that could have contaminated biological evidence, correct?
I don't know. I don't know how biological evidence works. I know how long it takes for a body to rot, but, when it gets down to the science behind it, I'm sorry to say I'm poorly educated.
Bacteria, dust, dirt.
Yeah, it was abandoned for a while. It hasn't been used in a while. Left
all
there.
of those things, rat feces on the floor, multiple people from outside tracking in contaminants on their feet, on their shoes, dust, dirt, salt water, all of these things, including multiple blood types, and whatever was on those knives, bacteria-wise, could contaminate the blood, making it
Not a guarantee, though.
discernible, making it undiscernible as far as plucking out any individuals. It is not a guarantee, but it is a chance.
So if I get stuck again, I got a few seconds. Drop the knife in somebody else's blood. Is what you're telling me?
Anything that could contaminate it.
I don't know what contaminates blood. I've seen some movies where they use bleach, but that's about it.
You could mix. You could actually roll a blade of a knife in another's blood. It's not as much of a guarantee as, say, let's say you step in dog shit and you take the bloody knife and you clean the dog crap off of your shoes. That would more than likely contaminate the blood. Bleach works because it actually kills blood cells.
Okay.
It actually destroys the DNA.
All right.
But
So,
you said you got out of there. It's in the 30 seconds you had. But then the police showed
I
up.
wiped off fingerprints. That's all I can do. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Off of every weapon?
Everyone I touched. I only
Did
touched
Max
one.
touch one?
I don't know.
Well,
And as I understand it out of character, that fingerprints actually don't exist on vampires, but Axel doesn't know
they
this.
don't. No, they don't. And neither does Stephen. It's the supernatural things. And it sounds as though bases have been covered fairly well, but the police did arrive and they found a massacre.
They found seedy cartel shit, yeah.
So, given the nature of the scene, they would have called in forensics, ASAP, detectives, and they would have cordoned it off for quite a distance of the warehouse. Where did it take place? What warehouse?
Axel gives the address. Unfortunately, out of character, I'm kind of blanking on remembering it, but Axel would know it fairly well, considering how well he knows the warehouse district.
The docks.
Yeah.
Happened on the docks. So they would have cordoned off probably at least 1.5 warehouses in all directions.
Yeah, well, we took it a little further than that. But
So that means forensic teams and detectives. The scene has been completely analyzed, and evidence, and whatever they gathered is sitting in the police department, in their labs.
that's what I'm worried about, yeah.
At this point, there's no point to cleaning up the warehouse because it has already been cleaned up by law enforcement.
I was afraid of that, but wasn't going to argue it. Brujah going to be cleaning it up, but I'm going to... I mean, what do you do, kid? Like, when you got a bunch of cop cars coming over, you got 30 seconds to make a decision, either get the hell out or to clean up after yourself. Well, I would think the decision is understandable for everybody.
You did a little bit of both in this case. You wiped off fingerprints from what you touched, if it even applies to us. And you got out of there with butt intact, and what you came there for.
Yeah.
And the police did not see you get away.
No.
What was the vehicle?
2 vans. They took one, we liberated the other.
Of course, I don't have to tell you, I would highly recommend making sure that that van you liberated is not anywhere that can be found or traced back to you.
I have it in a secure location.
Good, good. I expected nothing less.
Stephen, I clean up messes. I just want to get better at it. I need to know how to make sure that when I don't want stuff to go south, but I need to be ready when it does. It's just, and it's not like I should be carrying around fucking clean supplies with me all fucking day.
That would look a little odd.
But I can think of maybe I can think of something. Maybe it's just I killed them stuff. I know it's self-defense. I know that, but everybody else seems perfectly fine with it, and me not so much. Well, roughing up a person when they're coming at you, that's one thing, But fucking, I split a guy in half with a fucking machete. Opened up like a goddamn pest dispenser.
You committed multiple acts of brutal murder. Your conscience is, well, it is normal. I'm not asking you to rationalize it. You don't have to call it self-defense. Anybody with even a little bit of scruples, I myself can understand this quite well. It's not something that will go away. You just have to deal with it. You have to remember what you did. And just try not to do it again.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not a long enough timeline. I'd have to be an idiot to think that it's not going to happen again. That's like saying that this is going to be the last episode I'm ever going to have. That's not going to happen.
What brought you to that warehouse on the docks in the first place?
I had to grab something. And the rest of it is confidential.
You had to grab something. You are at least being well paid for this, given the risk.
I think about it for a second, thinking how to word this very carefully. I respect my elders. I just needed I just need to make sure that I can play the game, Stefan. I need to figure out how to do this, and it's getting harder. But I'm not bitching about it. I just want to figure out how to do it. How to
There seems to be more in your mind than just figuring out how to do things like this correctly.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that.
Who exactly were you dealing with?
Axel just keeps his head low. And I can't tell you, Stefan. I can't.
Sounds like it was somebody who is probably not exactly agreeable.
That's one way.
Curious. Well, as far as taking care of things, the the topic I brought up at that meeting involving Mr. Voltaire and Mr. Wilford.
Yeah.
I have need to meet with Mortimer to discuss this on his end and to hear from him firsthand his side of the story. And to make him aware that I wish to set up a meeting.
Why don't you go through the brew?
Because you know exactly, you know for a fact that the Brujah are not going to put me in contact with him. Because I will be dealing with Lacey, and Lacey is not going to abide by this.
How much is it worth to you? It's going to cost me a bit.
Moderate boon.
For you.
A moderate boon.
Okay.
But I'm not going to pay that boon to anyone except you.
That's fine. It's going to cost me a little, but I'll can you give me a minute? I need to make a phone call. I'll be right back. He stands up and he steps out of the office. His hands shake when he makes a text. He's careful not to show who the text is going to. But it's going to Damian. The text
Damian will. He'll feel his phone, so Damian will look. The hell?
The text reads, "Call me now."
Damian will do as the text tells him.
Axel turns the volume down on his phone, picking it up, waiting for the call from Damian.
Are you just outside the office door?
Yeah, he's just outside the office door.
Going to focus my heightened senses to hearing and make a perception alertness roll. No, 6. Oh, what'd you say the difficulty would be? 7?
7.
Turn down. You're trying to listen to the cell phone, which is currently pressed to his ear with the volume down through a room. I would say at minimum
9.
8, possibly 9.
9, yeah.
So let's call it 9. Heightened senses reduces that to 7. Or no, it's 8. 8.
Yeah.
8. Okay, you tell me with 2 successes how much I hear.
All right. We'll go through the conversation real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Axel, man, you're right.
To be clear, you can only hear Axel's responses to this.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Right now, I'm calling in a little bit of interest. and I don't like dealing with you. We're gonna play this straight, and I trust you can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a liar. I don't tell you whatever the truth is if I can.
I need you to end up telling me where Mortimer is.
Mortimer, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, well, he's your brother at this point. I would expect you would actually be able to figure out where he is, and I need to end up getting a hold of him.
I don't know where he is 24/7. I can call him and see with my other brethren if see if they know where he is.
No, this doesn't go around. You keep your mouth shut, and it's one thing that I noticed you guys can't seem to do. But nevertheless, calling in a bit of interest on this, you keep it quiet, you find him. We'll end up considering not end up compounding issues further. I'm not particularly in a good place right now to start negotiating. It is something you're going to end up finding. You end up calling me the second you find out, and you have 24 hours to do so. Keep it quiet and find it. You tell me immediately, and you keep it quiet.
Shit. Fuck it. Alright then. I'll see what I can do. So try and
do more than see.
spot him.
Hangs up.
Yeah, bad mood today. And he'll hang up.
With 2 successes, try and imagine missing every third word of that. 3 successes is a total success, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He walks back into the office.
As Axel walks back into the office, Stefan lets his heightened senses slough off, kind of fade.
Now, I'm just going to do a quick base intelligence check because I'm fairly certain Axel is at least familiar enough with your capabilities and his own disciplines, knowing that we share them, to probably have the common sense to make it, but I'm going to leave it to a dice roll if he comes to that conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah. He's come to the conclusion that even after that, you're probably you got nothing to do. You're going to want to listen in. Stefan's inquisitive nature is going to get the best of him.
Right.
So Axel sits down. I'm going to try and end up getting it hopefully within 24. Not going to claim that it's going to be easy, but I just end up getting the first person. I end up going to get another 2.
Is the source of the information reliable, and will that source keep things quiet just between the 3 of us?
And the 2 of us, he didn't know you're involved.
2 of us. He's not. This source is not going to go to anyone else but Mortimer.
I want to say yes, but quite frankly, he's a little dodgy. But he owes me. He's my best chance.
Who is the source, if you don't mind me asking?
Consider it a minor professional courtesy. Man, you just ended up, walking up with, let me try that again. The man you walked with to go greet me at the bar.
Understood. Well, one can only hope that he does not go crazy.
Well, if he does, I'm not going to be happy about it. And thus far, with most of it in the Brujah, I'm sunshine and rainbows. They're going to back him when it comes time. Mortimer knows I'm not here to throw him under the bus.
Neither am I. I will do what I can to assure Mortimer that there is no danger posed to him in any of this dealing. I believe that. Let me just explain something I did not explain at the meeting. The reason why I am pursuing what I am pursuing is because Mr. Voltaire has repeatedly proclaimed his innocence, no matter what the circumstances. He insinuated that, he is not allowed to do business with a Brujah just because of their weaknesses. I assured him this is not the case, but I used a little analogy that I took from your book and explained to him in quite simple terms that he was aware who he was dealing with, and I suspect that he committed some kind of slight against Mortimer. Now, you know as well as I do, the Brujah do not take slights laying down. Except for one, of course. But we will not mention this any further. Now, let me ask you a question. If Mr. Voltaire can claim and get away by use of this claim that it was all Mortimer's fault for losing control, regardless of what Mr. Voltaire did, it was Mr. Wilford who is completely guilty because he could not keep his beast in check. Who is to say that the Ventrue sometime in the future won't try to use this same excuse, this same defense against one of us? Because when it comes down to it, who is more unstable, the Brujah or us, generally speaking?
I don't care for rhetorical questions, Stefan.
But you see my point.
More than most. Also
The Brujah believes that, the Ventrue believes that they are mostly untouchable, that they can do whatever they wish. I aim to prove that this is not true, and that this particular Ventrue, I harbor no ill will toward him, but I aim to prove that he is equally as culpable. And I am not. I'm going to do what I can, what is in my power, to make the powers that be understand that neither party needs to be executed, but that the punishment should definitely fit the crime. Both parties should live and learn from this, because it will send a quite an impressive message to both the Ventrue and the Brujah ranks, as well as anybody else who is made aware of it. Do you agree?
I do. I just... first question I have to end up asking is how does this, because of our involvement, not backlash? I'm still figuring that one out, and I'm knee deep in it.
Well, at the meeting, because it is all too clear, and I don't believe Mr. Voltaire trusts me because of my association with you. So, the only Malkavians present, I believe, in the best interest would be myself and our ever so wonderful harpy, Miss Goodchild. She seemed interested in the prospects, given that her opinion matters. And who better to act as a mediator than someone whose opinion matters?
I think I understand.
So unfortunately, I cannot be present. But I assure you, I will keep you up to date.
Till then, I guess I gotta keep my distance from the venture.
I believe it probably would not hurt. The less agitation amongst their ranks, the better. And the only thing that we must do is we must make sure that the Brujah and the Ventro have no further contact until this takes place. And I don't think I can imagine anybody better suited to that task than you. This is not a favor I'm asking of you. This is part of your duty. You look at the big picture. Keeping the peace would go a long way.
Yeah. I'm more interested in making sure that everyone keeps pulling the line. Toe the line. And right now, I don't care what it is about fair share. I haven't done my fair share in quite some time. I've done nothing but pull as much weight as impossibly I am capable of. If I just pulled my weight, wouldn't be much harder than just taking food from a cat or a dog and living in the wild. It's not why I'm here. I'm just waiting for them to start respecting the fact of what I'm here to do. And it seems that until I have earned it, they're not going to give it to me. But even after I earn it, they won't. I'm starting to get frustrated.
As far as you doing your fair share in all of this, I don't believe I have seen a lack of effort on your part.
Just a lack of results.
Well, you did a dangerous job for somebody. That somebody is much higher on the totem pole. Therefore, you got results. So, you should definitely make it a point that getting those results deserves some kind of respect.
Right.
But in the meantime, if you can ensure that the Brujah and the Ventro don't have any further contact with each other, as much as in your power. Now, I'm not asking for a miracle because that is impossible for one person to be in all places at once. But whatever you can do,
Axel gets up, starts walking to the chair. Walking out of the chair and walking towards the door. It's 2 down, 7 to go. Let's see how good of a miracle worker I am.
As Axel heads out the door, Stephen takes a moment to clear his mind after that conversation. And just a few seconds after, he walks out the door himself back out to the bar to resume his night of work as the scene closes.